Yeah, I'm on a new chat. Yeah, but I'm trying to find a link to it. Yeah, there I am. Here I am. Yeah, this is driving me nuts. Um, um nightmares. Hi, Dick. How you doing? You found us again. Yep, you're back. I'm back as well. Hopefully, this will last for the half an hour or so we've got to go. Um, yeah, sorry about this, but I'm definitely going to get a new modem this week and hook it up because this can't prevail. And I'm going to change the antivirus as well. Just a pain in the ass, and I am sorry to everybody that this kind of egregious shit's happened. So I'm going to close the old. No, I won't close the old one. I'll leave that open for now. What a way to end the year! No, there's going to be the New Year's Eve live stream, and I'm going to make sure everything's fixed by then. But how's Luna doing? Luna's fine. Luna's running around. I think she's outside and wants to come in again now. Hi, Lee. Hi, Evil Pixie. Um, I am so sorry about this. Totally. What I will do is I'm going to download all of the live streams, the three that I've done so far, and hopefully not a fourth. And I'll lace them together into one video and put it up on the channel as well, so that people can get all of the live stream stuff in one go. Yep, Lee, I'm doing a New Year's Eve live stream. It'll be at 11 p.m. Melbourne time on New Year's Eve, going through to 1 a.m. It'll be the third annual. Not a Hero says, not my fault. We love you and we understand. Thank you. I appreciate that sympathy and that support. But yeah, I'm going to be doing the New Year's Eve live stream, third annual one. Going to find some cool stuff to do. If you want to see something on a New Year's Eve live stream, let me know as well. Always up for ideas because it's um it's a lot of fun. And that time of night, we see the fireworks, and I usually have the other TV showing the fireworks on TV, which is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just going to be a groove. But yeah, I've definitely got to. First off, I'm going to get that antivirus fixed, and secondly, we're going to get a new modem because the one we've got is it's got to be 10 or 12 years old now. So I really can't afford not to have a decent connection if I'm going to do this, which apart from being a lot of fun, is a business. So I've definitely got to get that happening. Not a Hero says, please don't hate me, but lately I've gotten a lot of old movies. I want to know what I think of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I think it's a great graphic novel series. I think it's less great movie. Router or modem? Yeah, the white box we're going to replace Middle East vehicle. Roger says, hey, in the past, the idea you could talk to the world from your house would be science fiction. Absolutely. I never don't appreciate the connectivity that we have in the 21st century, and I'm always there for that. Have I seen Vera Cruz? Thoughts on old? I like Vera Cruz. Gary Cooper. Is it Mitchum in Vera Cruz? Yeah, I've seen it, and I like the fact that it's set in a different part of Mexico than the usual North Mexico stuff that you get in westerns. Lancaster. Yeah, I apologize, Burt Lancaster. Vera Cruz is a lot of fun, and yeah, that location in southern Mexico adds a lot to it as well. And having the swinging dicks of Cooper and Lancaster working against each other and with each other works well. It's always a nice dynamic in those kind of action films where you have kind of a veteran action star coming up against the young Turks, and that kind of dynamic can work really well if both of them know what they're doing and if they're not trying to one up each other in the real world, even if their characters are. that kind of chemistry can work if you got the right couple of actors. Not a hero says, never understood why people don't like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It was better than half the crap out at the time. Yes, but it was a lot worse than the graphic novels. The graphic novels had a lot more depth, and I think the characters are a lot more solid in the graphic novels than they ever were in the movie. The graphic novels are fantastic. Yeah, Cooper's fun. I mean, my favorite Cooper movie is The Fountainhead because that one is just mad. It's neurotic as hell. It's got some of the best phallic symbolism in any American cinema. Um, that one I recommend. It's based on an Ayn Rand novel, but it's just a weird movie and over the top and politically totally stuffed. Mad film. Yeah, The Fountainhead is just fun to watch, but never to be taken seriously. Yep. Yeah, sad swan song for Sean Connery and John. Yeah. Yep. And Evil Pixie's right. The graphic novel Mina Harker is the leader and the protagonist, not Alan Quatermain. Friday says Ayn Rand wrote the screenplay. Yeah, Ayn Rand's really weird. That kind of objectivism stuff of Ayn Rand's where she ended up basically being on a pension and being on the dole. It's an interesting arc for an author like that. Not a hero says, given Terry, I mean, I could have done without Dorian Gray being inserted in the movie, but he wasn't in the graphic novel. But what the hell was up with Tom Sawyer? It was an American, they'd have an American character in there. That's why they do it. Yeah, Fountainhead is a trip. Fountainhead's just such mad fun. And I just love it for that. Graphic novels and movies. The two Sin City films, I think they're visually interesting. I think they're a different way of telling stories in a film. And they do have that film noir background. I think that I didn't mind the Sin City movies. I don't think they're fantastic, but I think they're honest adaptations of the graphic novels. What was the other one I was thinking of too? There's other graphic novel adaptations. I mean, The Watchmen. I like the series of The Watchmen more than I like the movie of The Watchmen. What's Fountainhead? Selznick feels very Selznick. It could well have been. I'm not going to look it up right now, but it's definitely got that feel about it. There is some really good special effects work in The Fountainhead, which I appreciated, and some over the top acting, not just by Gary Cooper, who's given a whole bunch of speeches, which and a whole bunch of intellectual stuff, which is not Gary Cooper's strong suit. Patricia Neal was good in it. Have you seen the Atlas Shrugged movies that they did make? Not a hero, because they're incredibly cheap and incredibly bad. Yep, Adam, the end shot of Fountainhead is epic. Friday says, I love the Fountainhead as it speaks to the nature of individualism, but it's also a warning. Not that Rand intended it that way, but it explains much of America today. There's a really weird thing on YouTube, which is kind of fun, where there are people who voted for Trump who suddenly realize that, they've got parents or family members who are illegal immigrants and that they voted for Trump, but Trump is going to throw their family out of America. There's a lot of those kind of threads happening at the moment, which is tragic, but kind of understandable. Patricia Neal was wonderful in it. Patricia Neal never did a bad acting role in her life. Evil Pixie says, I'm always surprised by how many graphic novels by Alan Moore have been adapted to movies and the way he's disowned them all. Alan Moore's a grump. What you've got to do, and I've got friends who have sold stories they've written and novels they've written to movies. And the thing that I've learned from them is let go of it once you've sold it. You've sold the rights to the story. You've made your bucks. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay in your lane in a sense. And you know they're going to screw up your story and your book or your novel, your graphic novel, when they make it into a movie. But that's the price you pay for selling the story. You give up the right to have full veto on the narrative. Your story will always be there. Your graphic novel will always be there. Your book will always be there. If somebody screws it up as a movie, that's on them. Robert Wise. I think Robert Wise was okay, but I don't like Robert Wise. For a start, he's the editor that screwed up the Magnificent Ambersons while Orson Welles was in South America. And apart from a couple of things like The Haunting, he never really impressed me that much. ME says the CBC recently had a report on how audiences in screenings of Wicked are singing and texting and taking selfies. Cineplex management had given up trying to enforce the rules. I think those people should be watching it on streaming. I'm probably going to see the Wicked movie at some stage, but I'm fairly sure I'm not going to see it in the cinema. I don't mind a musical. If people tell me it's a good musical, I'm going to withhold judgment until I see it. But I think if you want to watch a movie, either go to a session early in the morning when the kids aren't awake yet, like a 10 a.m. session. The two sweet spots here, at least, are first session in the morning or a session about 2:30 in the afternoon before school's out. If you're going to see a movie and you want to have a serene experience, that's the time to go see them. Roger Moore, Adam says, Wise was probably ordered to do that. Too bad. If you're going to screw up somebody else's movie, go somewhere else. Alan Moore lives near me in Northampton, says Roger. Saw him walking towards me in the street, looked in a right moody, so I didn't say hello. Fair enough, too. Day the Earth still was fantastic, but it wasn't Robert Wise. Friday says, The Haunting, Star Trek, The Motion Picture, Sound of Music, West Side Story, Day the Earth Stood Still. Sound of Music's a freaky movie. I don't like movies with nuns, unless it's nunsploitation. Day the Earth Stood Still a classic, and the remake by Keanu Reeves made me cry. Yeah, but I'm fairly sure the creative stuff in the Day the Earth Stood Still. Robert Wise was the director. He wasn't the creative engine for that movie. But yeah, I just don't like him. Like Ridley Scott, people, praise Ridley Scott for things, but I find him a very kind of prosaic director. I don't think I like him as a director. I mean, yes, he's made movies that have made a lot of money and they're very popular, but just not my jam. Black Narcissus is fantastic, Adam. Absolutely. That Powell and Pressburger documentary that Scorsese did, Made in England, the films of Powell and Pressburger, is fantastic. Yeah, Star Trek: The Motion Picture. That's one of those ones where in the special effects scenes, you fast forward at 2 speed through the special effects scenes. Frank says, Wise is a non-auteur director. Absolutely, he's a jobbing director. But even non-auteur directors can do interesting work. Not a Hero says, Wicked is becoming the new Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I will see it when it comes on streaming, but I won't watch it in a cinema because I don't go to the cinema to be annoyed. It's my safe space. It's my church. And if people are going to do annoying things in a cinema, it's like someone pissing into the baptismal font at a church. Black Narcissus is my number 3 of all time, says Steve. Yeah, it's a solid film. Just so strong and so well made. Dean says, the same movie trailers for horror films only in theaters this Christmas. Seems disturbing to me. Yeah, but if you see it saying only in theaters this Christmas, it means by late January you're going to see it on streaming. Roger says, Gladiator 2 is bonkers. How do they get sharks in the Colosseum? Yeah, I didn't like Gladiator that much. So I'll probably see Gladiator 2 when it comes out on streaming. Middle-aged Geek Girl says, you stay home to be annoyed by me. Now, that's why I go out to places like Cinemaniacs, Middle-aged Geek Girl. Phantom of the Paradise is better than Rocky Horror, says Friday. Yeah, I can see that. To be honest with you, I like Phantom of the Paradise more than I like Rocky Horror. And I've got both movies on Blu-ray. I've got both soundtrack albums on vinyl. But I like Phantom of the Paradise merging different stories like Faust and Phantom of the Opera and all that kind of stuff. And also, what's the other one? And to a little bit, Svengali. Good stuff. Phantom of the Paradise is just such fun. And the music by Paul Williams is chef's kiss. Yep, you're right, Evil Pixie. Sharks in a Coliseum are easy via a Sharknado. Okay, beginning to buffer. Thoughts on the Apple? Haven't seen the Apple. Dorian Gray. Which version, Trinity? Yeah, Dorian Gray's another one that's in Phantom of the Paradise. Yeah. Just such fun. And are we buffering? Because I can still see myself on the screen. But I hope not, because this would then be an egregiously horrible thing. Are people still okay? Can they see me still? Because I'm hoping to make this last another 20 minutes, which is something I've never said in my life before. Not buffering. Secret of Dorian Gray. Yeah, I mean, the original Dorian Gray, the one with George Sanders and Herb Hadfield, is fantastic. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, it looks like we're going to survive for 20 minutes, hopefully. He said, like a Cassandra prediction. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein looks interesting. I'm always up for a Guillermo del Toro movie. Even when it's one I don't particularly love, I never find it less than interesting. I also like The Shape of Water. A lot of people didn't like that, but I do. According to Peter, I'm an animated icon at the moment, which is not good. Dick says I'm okay there in the UK. Yep, good. This is starting to stress me the shit out, I tell you. Yeah, let's hope it stays stable and that everything's going okay. Let me just make sure I've closed down everything I can close down here so that it doesn't. I'm closing down a whole bunch of stuff here so that I can keep everything stable if I possibly can. I am definitely getting that bloody router. I can see Gladiator with sharks turning into a Sharknado movie. I think there's a Sharknado kind of movie with cats or some other animal in it that's coming out soon. But I'm not sure what it is. Okay, 20 minutes in, AMA time. Ask me anything, and I will answer it. Dean says another cup of espresso soon. Catnado, yeah. Yeah. Middle-aged Giga says you're stressed. I'm trying to film, and all that's happening is Luna's tail waving in and out of my shot. So middle-aged Giga is not only moderating, but she's also shooting her own YouTube videos. That's multitasking for you. Roger says, okay, in the shot of England. Fair enough. This one is stressing me out, but we'll get there. Catnado. Yeah, well, I mean, I would watch a Catnado movie as long as cats aren't hurt in the movie. It's like people don't like dogs being killed in movies, but for me, it's cats. Any character in a movie that treats a cat badly, I will hate them forever because I like cats. Cats are much better for me than dogs because dogs are obsequious bastards, sucking up to human beings. Pussy NATO is the OnlyFans version of a dick, of Cat NATO. Yeah, you just put mental images in my head, which I don't want to be there. But yeah, people, cats are like, dogs are obsequious. They suck up to people. Cats just go, yeah, feed me. I'll jump on you when I want a pat. They're independent, and I kind of like that. If I could recover any one lost movie, which one would it be? I want to see the Batwoman movie, the one that Warner Brothers have sunk. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I want to see those movies that have been suppressed or not released by studios recently. That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, the original Dorian Gray with Angela Lansbury and Herb Hadfield and George Sanders is, the gold standard for that particular story. Two great non-auteur directors, Richard Fleischer and J. Lee Thompson. J. Lee Thompson's movies are fantastic. He did the original Cape Fear, which I like better than the one with De Niro. I think the original one with Mitchum is fantastic. Favorite Sam Fuller movie? I like so many. Probably Pick Up on South Street. Is my favorite Sam.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Shut up, Alexa. Eight-Legged Freaks, the cat would have won that fight, yeah. But yeah, favorite Sam Fuller. Pick Up on South Street. I like with Mark in it. I love Thelma Ritter in that. I think it's the best role, and she should have got an Oscar for it. Yeah, first Cape Fear is good. I'm not saying that the second version is bad. It's not. If the first one didn't exist, it'd be a perfectly fine movie. But that first one really works for me. And Mitchum playing bad like he did in that and in Charles Lawton's Night of the Hunter was terrific. I like the fact that he was a protagonist in so many movies and a hero in so many movies. And then he could flip and play truly scary villains. I mean, he underrated himself as an actor and he underrated his own intelligence as an actor. But Mitchum really delivered the goods, both sides of that divide. Any feel good Australian Christmas movies? Probably any version of Bush Christmas. The original version from the 1940s, 1950s is good. The one with the young Nicole Kidman before she ruined her face is okay too. A lot of fun. And it's good to see Christmas movies where it's not cold because I've never experienced a cold Christmas. It's always barbecues and sunburn and people wandering around and lots of drinks with umbrellas in it here for Christmas. Carol says, do we put up decorations for Christmas? Not, we don't, but people do. And I am going to be going with Middle Aged Geek Girl and taking the Osmo Pocket 3 and doing the local Christmas decorations because we'll drive around and we'll get and there's some spectacular Christmas decorations in our area. And we'll drive around and we'll get them done. Problem for kids is this time of year, it gets dark anywhere up to 9 o'clock at night. And so the kids are staying up beyond their bedtime to go and see the Christmas lights. And they're always very tired little kiddies when you go and see the Christmas lights. And that's kind of fun. But we will definitely be doing it. Would a retelling of 7 Days in May be worthwhile? No, it's too close to the bone. It's documentary. They didn't need to have a military takeover of America. They did it through social media. And that's, in a sense, harder to fight and even scary. Not a Hero says, if I could recover a movie, it'd be London After Midnight. That's the one I kind of thought of. If it was found, I wonder how many people would be disappointed in the quality of it. Does Santa wear shorts when he delivers in Australia? Yep, he does sometimes. And he also turns up at Mardi Gras in a bikini. Middle-aged Geek Girl says, the Northern Hemisphere season bias is so annoying, especially in crafting. Summer is Christmas, not winter for us. Why didn't Eggers remake London After Midnight? He's doing a lot of good stuff. He's doing Nosferatu, and I want to see Nosferatu. Carol says, only had Christmas in the UK, so hot Christmas seems odd to me. We went to Malta in November once and saw the decorations going up, which was odd as it was very hot. Yeah, I like summer Christmas because you can have people over for a barbecue, not necessarily on Christmas Day. But I remember back when my mum was alive, she used to do the roast dinners because traditionally you have roast dinners for Christmas. And one year she went, screw it, we're having cold meat and salad for Christmas lunch, and we did, and it was great. You roast up a leg of lamb beforehand, slice it up the day before. You do all of your salads and things. And for our Christmas meal, it hits to have cold meat and salad and cold chicken and all those kind of bits and pieces. That that's kind of culturally and climatically appropriate. Mike has this is when my Alexa goes off. My Alexa, and we've also got Google. I'll occasionally say something nice to middle-aged good girl, and Google will answer, and then Sally gets jealous. Have I seen the Vincent Price Cookery Blu-ray from BFI? I've heard about it, but I haven't got a copy of it, Adam. Oh my God, none of them are Christmas meats. Yep. Carol says, my birthday's on Christmas Eve, so warm weather would be good for a party. Postpone my 40th to February as it was too expensive to get a venue in December. Yeah, that sucks. Your parents should have withheld until it was seasonally appropriate to have a child. But yeah, I mean, I've got a bunch of friends whose birthdays are around there. I've got another one whose birthday is the 1st of January. And there's always a party, but it's never her party. But yeah. Yeah, failsafe rules. On the original On the Beach is great. There's a really good release of it by Imprint, which I picked up. Adam says, basically British cooking, yellow sauce covered in mash with a salmon in the middle, that kind of thing. Yeah, I do want to see the Vincent Price cookery show because I think it'd be fun. Carol says, I was a Catholic surprise, not expected. Yep, we do middle-aged girl. We have a friend on Christmas Day, uncle on the 28th, and her father's on the 2nd of January. Peter, middle-aged girl's father, is turning 80 on the 2nd of January too. So that's kind of cool. And we will pop over there and give him a bottle of whiskey, which will be gone by the 3rd of January. Philip says, Alan Moore ripped off the theme for Oral Robert Cobb's Outer Limits episode, The Architects of Fear, with Watchmen's original ending. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that ending was in science fiction stories for a long time before The Outer Limits. Yeah, Friday says, I've seen clips of Vincent Price cooking and he's really good. Yeah, he was also really good as an interpreter of art. He had this thing where there were art prints in one of these big shopping centers in America that he curated. He was very big on bringing art and skills to ordinary people, and I like him for that. Apart from all the other things I like Vincent Price for. It's Peter 79, middle-aged geek girl, this year, next year. Okay, my apologies. But yeah, there's one of the things is when people say somebody ripped off this story from that person, chances are that person have been influenced by previous stories. There are a lot of stories that are really old, and unless you do a really deep search on them, you sometimes can't find them, and you think something's original when it isn't. Is there any original ideas left in the Hollywood sausage factory? I think innovation never comes from the mainstream, and Hollywood's mainstream. Innovation comes from the edges. French female directors like Coralie Farge doing Revenge and then doing The Substance. That's original. Tarantino, the video shop geek, is an original, even though he did reinterpret a whole bunch of stuff previously existing. Innovation never comes from the center of a big industry town. It always starts with somebody doing the equivalent of two geeks in a garage creating Apple computers in the home computer industry. Good innovation and lasting innovation never comes from the mainstream. Not a Hero says, I saw Unbelievable's AMC, the recreated version of London After Midnight, where they did it completely in black and white stills. Okay, cool. Friday says, there are a lot of original ideas presented to Hollywood, but they almost never get financed. And that's the interesting thing where we're starting to see people who are putting up short films they make themselves on YouTube. And they're getting a foothold in the industry because that short that they made on YouTube is their calling card. So again, they're coming in to the mainstream from the edges. Problem is, sometimes when a good creator comes in from the edges and gets into the mainstream co-opts them into making very prosaic projects. And there are a lot of good um, directors, particularly, who made small indie films, and then they end up doing streaming series and things like that. And they're very good in that, but they're no longer auteurs. They're jobbing directors, which is fine for them. I mean, you've got to pay the mortgage somehow. But I'm kind of disappointed in that, not in their choices, but in the fact that nobody's financing them to do their own individual projects that follow their vision rather than them bringing their creativity and their riz to a streaming series or something like that. So yeah, there are a lot of original ideas presented to Hollywood almost never get financed. Absolutely. Which is totally a shame because things like The Substance, which isn't 100% original, but he's done in an incredibly original way, is a breath of fresh air. Every time I see something that's really original in a movie, it reminds me why I love movies and why I keep watching them and why I built my online career around them. See, you can go through a period of seeing a whole bunch of kind of okay movies and kind of mid movies, and then something fantastic hits and it works. Adam says The Substance is Hollywood Dormier and Grey. It is to a certain extent, but it's told from a female point of view, which Hollywood doesn't do by itself. And it's told with a criticism of the beauty myths of Hollywood. So basically, Coralie Fargett grabbed all of the tropes of Hollywood and shown how egregiously horrible they are. Not a Hero says, please tell your father happy birthday from me, middle-aged gay girl. Absolutely not a hero, 9/11. We will do that. Evil Pixie says, reminds me of Star Trek Axanar, which was better than the CBS Star Trek series. So they sued them almost to oblivion. Yeah. Passion projects are something I really appreciate. I've seen passion projects that were, why did you bother? And why do you like that? But passion projects, very often, that passion lifts them above the production values and the available resources and things like that. And I love them for that. Starry Eyes is a good movie about Hollywood. I don't know that one, but I'm going to write it down because I can. So we're 4 minutes from the end and we've survived the third time around on this live stream. I'm writing down Starry Eyes. But so as I said, we're going to do New Year's Eve because, to be honest with you, I like New Year's Eve more than I like Christmas. There's a lot of theological baggage to Christmas that I don't particularly like. But New Year's Eve I love because it's arbitrary. The start of a New Year is an arbitrary thing. It doesn't mean anything in the natural world. But it's that point where you go, things can be better next year. I hope they are, and I'm going to try to work toward them being better next year. And this year's been what it is. But I can close the door on that, and I can open a new door. And there are lots of possibilities I want to explore. You don't always explore them. Realistically, New Year's resolutions very often fail. But there's a tiny, tiny, bright star of optimism that comes with New Year's Eve that I really appreciate. Yep. No, Adam, we don't get New Year's first. Tonga gets New Year's first, then New Zealand, then us. And me says, recently watched Interior Chinatown on Hulu. I hear good things about that. Really interesting story about a background Asian character in a cop show that breaks through his cliched experience. Yep. Ben says, thanks, Terry and Mag. Looking forward to New Year's Eve stream. 2024 was a year of horror, and I don't just many movies. Yep. Thanks a lot, Peter, too. Looking forward to New Year's Eve. Look for the small art house movies for originality and quirkiness, Roger says. Yeah, that's why I like going to the Sun Cinema here in Melbourne when I go to the movies, because it shows the movies that aren't showing in the big multiplexes. And this year I've had a lot of fun seeing those smaller movies in the Sun in particular, because I can't get them in my local multiplex even when it's open. And I also, though, what I did do as well is I saw a couple of interesting um, Indian films this year. I saw Kalki 2988, whatever it is, 2899 or whatever it is, and I saw Kill, a really good Indian action film. So I've kind of had a fairly good year of looking outside the mainstream and finding good films, and going to the Sun to see things like the Substance, which wasn't showing in the big cinemas. Yeah, Kill's fun. I've got a copy of Kill on DVD now. Really solid action film, which